Check, check. What is up, people of the people? Chad here today. Okay, today we're going to be showing how to make a fire LinkedIn profile. Okay, I'm going to give you specific examples and I'm going to cover some of the most common mistakes that people make when trying to make a LinkedIn profile to break into tech sales. And inspiration for this video, I got a comment from one of my subscribers the other day on, hey, can you make this? So let me know in the comments if there's any other things that you feel like you want me to hone in on, and I'd be happy to put it on my list to create future videos for you guys. So let me get started here on this quick free guide, okay? It's true. Creating a good LinkedIn profile is the foundation of even being able to get an interview in tech sales, okay? If your LinkedIn doesn't showcase that you're competent in sales, out of hundreds of people that these companies, if you're applying for desirable tech sales roles, that these people are applying for, out of hundreds of people, they're gonna swipe next on you if you're not instantly being able to showcase a few things that demonstrate, hey, this person is a salesperson, this person is knowledgeable around sales, this person is branded as a salesperson and they understand what sales is, right? You need to communicate that across because these people are always looking at your LinkedIn profile and doing an instant subconscious gut check judgment of you. So you really, especially if you want to land interviews, and if that's your biggest problem, if you're struggling to land interviews, you're sending in so many applications and you're just not getting any success, this is going to help you, okay? This is going to increase your chances of landing a tech sales role, of landing an interview, which is a result of that is to land a tech sales role, okay? If you do enough of those. So the first place they're gonna look is your LinkedIn profile, and these days, this is your public resume, okay? Yes, it's still important to have an actual resume, but it's more important to make sure your LinkedIn is congruent with your resume and branded nicely. I'll talk a little more about what that means, okay? So let's get into how I'd create a killer LinkedIn profile from absolute scratch, okay? Now, quick PS here. I've been working with people in my one-on-one mentorship through each phase of breaking into desirable tech sales roles with six-figure potential. And a lot of these people who work with me, they usually have a lot of limiting beliefs that the job market's crap, or maybe they're sending in so much applications and they're putting in the hard work, but they're just not seeing the results. And with the few tweaks and belief and strategies and helping people stand out and the tips that I share and walk people through, they're able to do it successfully and break in a very quick amount of time. I've worked with people where it just literally took a couple weeks to land their first role after spending months trying stuff on their own, okay? And this is a common occurrence. So right now I'm actually taking on a few more one-on-one clients this upcoming month. So first link in the description if you want to apply for that. Okay, so back to the LinkedIn stuff. Let's start with the mistakes that I see people make, okay? The mistake number one is bad branding, okay? When you go to a YouTube channel, and they have a crappy photo or a crappy header, it doesn't really look like a good channel, right? It's the same for a LinkedIn profile. If you click on someone's LinkedIn profile and they just have a side profile picture of them, or their header is just some generic header with a pencil or just something like that, it kind of looks kind of blurry. It's not signaling professionalism, okay? So what we want to really do is signal professionalism. And the first thing that can do that is a close-up face portrait, okay? This doesn't have to be hard. Literally, here's an example of mine. Obviously, I've had many different ones, but this is the go-to strategy here. You just want to take a pic. And by the way, I just took this picture with my iPhone, guys. I put it up on my desk, and I just sat there in a nice shirt and just took the picture, okay? Anybody can do this, all right? But you don't want to have a blurry photo. You don't want to have a far away picture. You want to have a nice clean picture where you're dressed in something nice. You don't want to be in sunglasses. You want to avoid shades or some outdoor photo. You want to have a clean professional photo, almost like you're about to hop in an interview. Okay, that's kind of what you want to go for. You want to go for a photo where it's almost like you're ready to interview. Okay, this is just going to increase your chances. It's gonna create a good first impression. Okay, because the thing is, when you land an interview, the first thing these people are going to look at So there's two things that'll happen. Before you land the interview, recruiters are going to look at your LinkedIn profile to see if it's even worth getting you an interview, okay? And then even when you land an interview, they're gonna look at your profile again and get a better feel for you before you hop on the call. And even if you move forward to future stages with like sales managers, you better bet that they're looking at your LinkedIn profile to put a face to the name before you hop on a call. It's something that people in sales do all the time. And actually, here's a tip. You should do it to them before you get on each interview as well and connect with them. And it just helps build a good first impression, okay? So get a good profile picture. It's gonna help you really build a better relationship and a better first impression, all right? The other thing is, sales is a customer-facing role, and so these employers are getting a feeling for you the whole time on how is this person going to show up for my customers? Are they going to be presentable to my potential customers so that we can sell product and have a good brand reputation, right? So this is why it's so important to give a good presentation of yourself visually, physically, okay? 80% of communication is body language, okay? And part of that has to do with how you dress, if you have a collar, if you're clean cut, right? If you're shaved or whatever it is that makes you feel clean cut, okay? You can be you, yes, but you want to be professional, okay? It's going to hit people in the gut a certain way, okay? So the second part of this is your header and image, okay? Have a clean header, guys. I like using the background of like the area you live in. Here's a couple of examples of clients that I've worked with that they just put the header of like the city or area that they're in. And I think this really works well because it's a conversation starter, right? People, when they look at your LinkedIn, they're like, oh, this person's here. Wow. Oh, I've been there, right? So especially if you're in a bigger city like, you know, Toronto, New York City, whatever it is, okay? This is really good. It's really clean, and it's just an extra personable asset that just adds a little bit to your personal brand. It just shows a little bit more about you, whereas if you just put something random, you know, like a black or gray or green like plain header, it just doesn't do anything for you, you see? And it honestly can kind of look a little weird. So you want to have a nice, like, personable, networky header, and I like using like a location for this. I think this is the best one, okay? And here's just a side tip, guys. Go look for yourself. Like, the best thing you can do in any scenario is model success. Okay, this is a principle for life in general. If you want to build a business, if you want to start a company, if you want to work for a company, if you want to learn how to do something, find people doing it and model after them, right? Find out what good looks like in that area and model after them. And so one thing you can even do is, hey, go to some of these top companies, HubSpot, Salesforce, you know, Microsoft, like go to their LinkedIn pages, go to people, go to the salespeople, find salespeople there, and look at what their LinkedIn profiles are branded as. Now, yes, maybe they'll have more experience because they're in the role, but you can take signals on like, hey, how does this person brand themselves, right? They're obviously doing well. They're obviously in sales. Let me see what I can model. And what you'll find is a lot of these principles will ring true, and you may even find some other ways. Oh, wow, I really like how this person does it. Wow, I really like how this person does it. You want to make sure you're branding yourself professionally, okay? Now, one of the other things you can do is get 500 plus connections. Okay, what is this? In LinkedIn, it's all about connections, okay? And you might have known, you might see like on Twitter or Instagram, there's like a verification blue check mark. On LinkedIn, if you can get 500 plus connections, this is where it turns into that same kind of status and social proof symbol of like the blue check mark for Instagram or Twitter. Okay, so this is something that can really help you out in a few ways, and I'll explain that right now. The first one is this is going to just instantly signal in someone's brain that you're connected. Okay, it's also going to add some status and social proof, right? Because it just has that effect. And the other thing is, in sales, it's all about connections, right? And a lot of sales roles, you're going to be using LinkedIn strategically to connect with potential customers. And so if you can get to 500 plus connections, if an employer or a recruiter looks at your profile and they see that you have 500 plus connections, they're going to be like, oh, this person's plugged in. Oh, this person is connected. This person has social proof. This person knows how to make connections, right? Even if it's kind of easy to make connections. I'll tell you how to get to this number fast in just a second. But it really does a lot for you, right? And it adds so much. Now, here's another trick, okay? So this is how to do it, right? You go to some of these top tech companies out there and you just go to people from their LinkedIn page. You go to people and then you just find salespeople. You just search like BDR, account executive, and just start connecting with them, right? Now you only get a certain amount per day, per week, and that's totally fine. Just connect with as many people as you can. And each day until you max it out. And this is how you can get to that number quickly, okay? Now, the bonus of that is if you're connecting with people in the industry you're trying to break into, then likely these employers will have mutual connections, right? Because a lot of people in the tech space, they connect with everybody, right? It's just something you do when you get into sales. So if you can get ahead of this, it's gonna look really good. Imagine if you have, the people will also see it, like these hiring managers, if they have a mutual connection, they'll see so-and-so is also connected to so-and-so, and it shows that on the LinkedIn profile. And so that can help you out and show that you're more plugged in, and that even just build that relationship a little bit deeper without even having to do anything, because they feel like, oh, wow, I'm connected with similar people as this person. So it does something else there. Now imagine if you click someone's profile and they have 4 connections or 20 connections. It really just shows you're a newbie. It screams newbie. Okay, you don't want that, right? The sweet spot is 500 plus connections. If you can get there, it shows pro. It shows pro. That's the words that are going to be flooding these people's brains when they're looking at it, okay? So here's another mistake that people make. A lot of you guys are fresh out of high school, fresh out of college, or maybe in school right now, or maybe you're out of school and you don't really have any skills or jobs yet. And a lot of you guys are branding yourselves as school people, like students or graduates. And there's nothing technically wrong with that. Yes, sometimes if you go to a certain college, it can be impressive, but I'll tell you this right now, college does not matter. And if anything, putting it on your LinkedIn and publicly showcasing and branding yourself as like a student or graduate, it hurts you more than helps you. I'll explain why right now, but you don't want to identify as a student, okay? Because just put yourself in the shoes of the recruiter, okay? Their job is to pick from hundreds of applications which people are going to be worth having a further interview, which people are going to be most likely potential to actually succeed in this role and make them money, okay? Now, if they look at your profile and they see student or graduate, okay, what does that scream? That screams, oh, this person's a newbie. This person has no sales skills yet, maybe a little, sure, but they don't have an understanding of branding and sales and showcasing authority. Okay, which is what sales is, and I'll teach you guys how to do, and I do teach you guys how to do. So you don't want that, right? They're gonna quickly swipe next on you and go to the next person who has branding that is showcasing sales, even if they have no traditional jobs either. If they're showcasing sales enough, and I'll show you what that looks like, then that's who's gonna get a chance at the interview, okay? It's as simple as that, actually. So what you wanna do is avoid school language. Get rid of student, get rid of graduate. You can list the college you went to if you have any of that. If you don't, just don't list anything at all. It doesn't matter, okay? But get rid of any language that makes them feel like you're a student right now or that you're a graduate right now, because that doesn't show anything, okay? The only thing that these people are looking for is this person a fit for this sales role, right? So we want to have as much sales-oriented language as possible. And so what I like to do is quite literally, rebrand yourself as a salesperson. And this is okay. Why? Because everybody is a salesperson. Life is sales. If you've ever talked somebody into something, it's sales. If you've ever persuaded somebody against something, it's sales. If you've ever had an argument, that's sales in itself. If you've ever worked any job ever, you're contributing to bringing in money for that company or whatever kind of job you were hired to do. And therefore, that is literally sales. Sales is making a transaction with other people or supporting a transaction being made to bring in revenue, okay? You got to think like a salesperson, okay? So no matter what you did, I don't care if it was mowing lawns, I don't care if it was being a cashier at a supermarket, you are a salesperson. And if you can adopt that identity and then showcase that identity in your branding, this is how you're going to stand out among hundreds and hundreds of people. And this is one of the biggest facets because it's a prerequisite to even being able to get a shot at an interview. And a lot of you guys, if you can just get a shot at an interview, you're going to just just present yourself and be human and create that deeper connection a lot easier. And that it's going to be all just snowball from there, right? So this is so important to have such a clean LinkedIn profile, okay? So you want to have the identity and adopt the identity of a salesperson. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably like, well, I don't feel like that's right. Like, I can only put supermarket. Like, let me show you one of my clients recently that I'm working with, his LinkedIn profile after we went through it. So here's a before image. So as you can see, his header was kind of generic. He had kind of like a far away photo. Nothing wrong with this, guys, but it doesn't stand out. It doesn't pop, and it's not personable, right? If a recruiter looks at this prior, they don't really know who they're getting on the phone with or on an interview with, okay? And the other thing is operations coordinator, right? Now that's okay, but it doesn't really have anything sales, right? Now his most recent role was technically operations coordinator, but look at his new LinkedIn profile now, okay? Really clean header of the location, clean photo, right? Sales development representative. And this is just an aspect of the deeper work that I do in my one-on-one mentorships. But what we did was we took that role that was operations coordinator and we rebranded him after getting clear on what it was he actually did in the role, okay? What we found out was he was literally making outbound calls, okay? He was literally qualifying leads, okay? He was literally prospecting and sending email outreach and doing these things. And he literally had expectations from his managers that he was exceeding and helping bring in revenue for the company. And so we figured out and pulled these nuggets of sales that he had, and until we felt that it was integrity enough to just rebrand him to a more relevant role. And in his case, sales development representative fit really nicely. And so what we did was just completely change his header to sales development representative. Now he could have put a million things here, guys. He could have put like Toronto metropolitan graduate. He could have put like post student. He could have put like anything, operations, professional, whatever it is, guys. But it doesn't help you in any way unless it's sales. And so just look at how much cleaner this looks just from a top-down perspective. If a recruiter clicks this, which by the way, I'm not going to disclose too much about what we're doing, but this is getting him results. This is converting, okay? And this is the first phase of getting into tech sales, okay? You want to get your branding right before you start moving into applying, because this is going to help you increase your chances of converting into interviews, okay? And that's the stage that you want to get to. All right, guys, we're having fun, right? Let me know in the comments, leave a like or anything. Just poke your computer screen if you're having fun on this video, okay? I like to keep the energy. I'm feeling energized today. I like to keep authentic. I mean, today I'm just feeling a little energetic. Like, I see so many people struggling with this LinkedIn thing, guys, and you don't have to like be stuck with what you are. Like, rebrand yourself, be fluid, start understanding sales and knowing what you can pull to the forefront, okay? Even if it's as simple as creating a header that says sales representative or salesperson, that's going to be light years better than anything else you can put if it's not sales, okay? I'm telling you, okay? So adopt the identity and get as sales oriented as possible, all right? The other thing about this whole thing, like the underlying principle of this, is you want to maximize the green flags and minimize the red flags, okay? So the red flags can just be anything that can further complicate or cause question in their minds. If you're putting like student, it's called how much confusion does that cause for them, right? It causes them, is this person in school right now? Is this person going to have the time to do this role? Has this person had any job experience? Have they been studying sales? What are they learning, right? There's too many red flag confusion questions that's going to pop up that it's not worth them actually going deeper into you, because they have so many people they can look at. They're just going to move on, right? And I don't want this to happen to you guys. So I'm telling you right now, don't brand yourself as a college student or a school or even like high school student, graduate, or any of this stuff. Just get rid of the school stuff, okay? You're a salesperson now. Sales doesn't require school. You can list it on your LinkedIn as like where you attended school. It's fine, but don't brand yourself in anything school, okay? Make it easy for them to consider you. Make it easy to increase the green flags, okay? Green flag can be clean profile picture, clean header, sales-oriented headline, 500 plus connections. It's green, 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 green. You don't want to add in any mix that can cause red muddiness. Does that make sense? Okay, so mistake number 4 is people have no licenses or certifications. Guys, what better way to start showing that you're into sales, especially if you're a complete beginner? There's hundreds of free certifications that teach you about the basics of sales, SDR and BDR specifically. Okay, so it's almost like, why wouldn't you do these things, right? And so one thing you can do, and what better way to start getting hands-on experience than doing certifications, right? Now, I like these 2 certifications. Both of them are free. Once you do them, you can also publicly display them on your LinkedIn profile. I'll show you a picture right here. Okay, one is Inbound Sales by HubSpot, and the other one is Groundwork for Success in Sales Development by Salesforce. Now, these are very 2 popular, credible logos in the tech sales space. And so even if you just have your face and name associated with a logo like this somewhere on your LinkedIn, it's going to really signal people in the gut that this person, wow, this person's connected. Wow, this person is putting in the self-development. This person has credible authority in this space. He's done certifications in sales. I'd be confident that he'd go through our learning process, which, by the way, a lot of these tech sales companies, they're going to teach you. Okay, they don't expect you to have all the skills. And this is another one of the biggest objections I hear from people is, I don't have formal sales training, or I don't have experience in sales, and so how can I get a role? They don't really care, okay? You want to brand yourself as a salesperson because they want to take the most experienced people, obviously, but it's not always about that, right? These people have training programs in place when you get hired to really ramp you up into a killer salesperson for them, because truth be told, all these companies do things differently. And if they see that you've already gone through some best practices from some of the best companies in the space in terms of the foundations, that's going to really increase their likelihood of wanting you to interview with them, okay? Now, there's a lot more nuance to this. There's showcasing the coachability, the right traits, going above and beyond, figure it out factor. These are other things that you can showcase in the interview. And again, you know, this is what I help people with in my mentorship and also some future videos. So stick around the channel if you want me to go deeper into those. Or check the first link in the description where you can book a call with me for free and just chat with me and see if it even makes sense for you to break into tech sales, and if it makes sense for you to work with me one-on-one. That's something that I've been offering for a while, and it's really helped people. So check that out if you want to explore like mentorship potentially. There's absolutely no pressure. It's a free call, so just check it out. So this is really good if you can get the certifications, okay? So you can also put these certifications on your resume, okay? Here's an example. You can put it on the top of your resume, okay? Because your resume is still important, guys. Yes, your LinkedIn's a public resume, but your resume is also foundational too. And this is something that they're gonna look at when they're on an interview with you. And so if you can have these things top and center, it's gonna make you pop really, really, really well, okay? So that's the bulk of it for LinkedIn, guys. If you hit all these points, it's gonna be really hard for you to mess this up and make a bad profile. Now, here's a bonus. If you can get LinkedIn referrals, here's an example of like some of the ones that I have from different people I've worked with, managers, people who have just vouched for me. This is another thing. This is social proof, okay? Now, what you can do is you can literally reach out to past employees. Maybe you even just know people in your neighborhood. Like maybe you have a friend of a friend whose dad is like a super high status person in a company. It doesn't matter what their title is. You can see if you can ask them to write something like this on your LinkedIn profile that can publicly showcase. Okay, this can just help show further social proof, and especially if it's someone with a good title, it can really just help you out. It can help them believe that, wow, this person is vouched for, okay? These are all little sales components, guys. Sales is, and this is why branding yourself correctly, even if you're kind of like changing your titles, like this is totally socially acceptable in today's age, and it is sales, okay? It is sales. Why? Because sales is about presenting yourself in the best way. It's about highlighting how you help people and being competent in that and showcasing authority. And so these employers don't even care if you technically weren't a sales development representative in your last role, or if you technically weren't a customer service representative in your last role, right? The trick with that is you want to like tailor yourself as close as you can to customer facing roles. More videos on that, but all they care about is that you understand sales and you understand how to apply social proof, credibility, and you know how to tailor yourself to a role, because in sales, you're going to want to tailor your software and your service that you're selling to your specific client. It's the same skill, guys. This is sales. And so if you can do that, they're going to be impressed by it. They're not going to call you out for it, okay? So this is the biggest trick, all right? Okay, so one last thing I'll add before we end this video is make sure your resume titles and responsibilities are congruent with exactly what's on your LinkedIn, okay? If they look at your resume and they see one title and then your LinkedIn says a different one, or you forgot to update it there, make it clean, make it congruent, make it easy for these people to consider you, and make it easy for them to give you the yes, and stack those green flags and minimize the red flags, okay? Minimize red flags, stack green flags. All right, that's all for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this little LinkedIn rant brainstorm sesh. Again, go on these company profiles of these big tech companies and just get some inspiration on looking at other people's sales profiles, and just like copy, like steal like an artist. There's a book you can read, Steal Like an Artist. It's not plagiarism to copy someone else and spin it in your own way, or look at someone's bio and be like, and by the way, you can make a bio, it's not so important, but if you feel like you see good bios out there from other salespeople, spin it in your own way. Just plug in your own experience instead. Use AI, as long as you're not using M dashes and as long as it doesn't smell like AI, okay? That's the biggest thing. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. There's tons more that I have to blabber about, obviously, about this whole tech sales thing. This is what I've been doing for countless years now. I think I've been in tech sales for over 2 years, close to 3 years. I've been in sales for way longer than that in different industries. Okay, if you want help with any of this, don't hesitate to book a call, first link in the description, where you can chat with me about my mentorship. And honestly, a lot of people get free value out of the coaching itself. I know the action of like booking a call can be super scary. For some weird reason, it just is. It's like, is Chad actually a real person? Is booking a call gonna, like, you know, make me, you know, have to spend money or do anything like that? I'm just telling you right now, it's a very low pressure conversation. A lot of people get free value out of it alone. And so if that's you and you're trying to break into tech sales and you maybe are struggling to, right? Whatever you're struggling with, it can be hard to like hold yourself to a higher standard, or it can be hard to believe that you can get these desirable roles. A lot of people settle for roles that don't really work for them, right? And then don't give them the income they want and end up being hard. I made this mistake starting out. I got into a startup that had, you know, no structure, no training, and I struggled for a long time until I ended up getting the right mentorship to be able to position myself in some of the best companies, right? And so that's what we can talk about in that call. So feel free to book that. And yeah, the second link in the description, I want to add like my free book. This is how people are getting more value from me free. It's totally free. I break down like all the aspects of breaking into a tech sales role at a high level. It really helps you get a high level understanding of this. And a lot of people have actually gotten roles completely just by reading this alone and implementing everything in there. So don't take that lightly. Check that out. If you feel like booking a call with me is maybe not the right time, totally cool, guys. All right, so that's all for this video. I hope to see you in another one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.